I guess good afternoon. It's one of the more thrilling times of the year. Anytime you're a football coach and you're right here on the eve of practice, starting practice for the first time, you have a lot of emotions that are running through you. And I think our football team has the same effect and same feeling. We're thrilled to have a bunch of returning veterans coming back, guys that played a lot, our coaching staff, just a lot of momentum heading into this fall camp. And looking forward to getting started and just seeing where the season might go. There's a lot of positives surrounding us right now, but we understand, each and every year your team is different and you've got to grow and you've got to develop, and you really find out how your team's going to become about 3 or 4 games into it. And so we'll see where we go from here, but we start tomorrow morning. I think we're going to take the field at 10 o'clock. And, it's kind of crazy because you say it's your report date or your first day of practice when, all year long, your players have been around here. They've been practicing. They've been, doing their player-led practices and things of that nature. So we were in good shape. I think we've got a really good off season, really good summer season, and ready to get started in practice.
All right, let's start with questions from folks here in the live audience, then we'll turn it over to the Zoom folks.
I'll start. Obviously, you talked about the returning players. One spot on the offensive line is open. I guess, how do you think that competition is going to shake out?
It's going to be a really good competition because we've got several really good young offensive linemen. We've had a transfer come here as well. So we've got some combinations that we're going to look into, and we're going to see some guys that see who the best guy can step up, whether it be at the tackle position or the guard position. We may do a little bit of position changing with some guys that we have already in place, but it's going to be a fascinating, next 3 weeks.
So, Coach, looks like I was taking a look at the schedule. Starts with a couple tough road games, right? So what's the mindset, heading into the season, looking at those first couple games?
Well, it's a great question, but around here you don't look at the schedule. No, we open up at the University of South Carolina on September 3rd, and then what I think is one of the, if not the biggest home game, and having the University of North Carolina come here, the Tar Heels, on I guess the 10th. Yeah, those are tough competitions, but you go and you face tough competition each and every week in our league. If we're where we need to be from a mind standpoint, from a strength and conditioning standpoint, and then from an execution standpoint, you don't fear the tough schedule. You don't. So now if we don't go prepare and we don't go put ourselves in position to be successful offensively, defensively, and special teams, then yeah, we're going to get exploited very, very quickly, probably. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to be ready to go. We're going to do some things that we didn't do, I think, last fall camp a year ago. Implement some new things, and we're going to come out of the gates running.
As you set goals for this team early on, where do you see yourself progressing as you move forward?
Yeah, I'm not a goal setter. I take it one day at a time. I try to improve our football team and myself, whether it's coaching whatsoever. I don't list up on the board, hey, we're going to be Sun Belt champs. Hey, we're going to win all our home games. Let's just go do the very, very best we can. Hey, going in the weight room, man, I want you to be the very best you can be. Let's go practice on a Tuesday, and let's be the best team we can be on that Tuesday. The goals will take care of themselves, I've always been, I guess, criticized. They'll say, Coach, you don't ever set a goal or anything. I don't, you kind of live your life that way. Your goal is your whole life. So that's how we approach it.
Coach, we have a Zoom question from Ben Moore. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, appreciate it. Good to see you, Coach.
How are you doing?
I know you're doing great. I know you're super excited to get started, but a question that I haven't heard you ask quite yet. You do have a new offensive coordinator this fall. I know Josh Stepp left midway through spring. Obviously, Coach Glenn left to Virginia Tech. I can't imagine the offense changing that much structurally, but what can Trent McKnight, or what does he want to bring, I guess, the offense in his time as spring and so far, obviously, in planning for fall?
Well, probably the answer you're looking for is, he's probably going to develop our throw game a little bit more. And we hope to be able to do that. I think Trent's got a great mind. I think he studies the game extremely hard. He's going to put us in position to do a lot of different things. We're not going to do a lot we're not going to look totally different. We have a system in place that we like to do. I think what he's going to do is he's going to develop it a little bit more. Some of our throw game will be a little bit more different than what it was under Coach Glenn. Coach Stepp, I think, was only here about, 7 practices, so he didn't have a whole lot of impact on changing things at that time. But I feel very, very comfortable with Coach McKnight. He's been here going on his 6th season now. So if there's anyone on staff or anyone I could have hired that knew me or knows what I like, it's him. So we're looking to move forward and move forward at a very, very fast pace with him.
Yeah, I could imagine the passing game and specifically to the wide receivers may be argued a little bit stronger with Coach McKnight now in charge.
Well, our offense is predicated on what's there. If the throw game's there, I don't have any problem going out and throwing it 40 times a game. Soft coverage, hit screens, if coverage is, it's all played out by the defense. Whatever they want to give us, that's what we want to take. If we have, like I said, if we have the ability to throw the ball more, we will. If we have the ability to control the run game, we'll do that. So, like I said, it's based up to those defenses we're going to face.
I can piggyback off that one.
Yeah.
How's the continuity with the staff at the top help where, you've had Coach Fupe as DC the entire time, and Coach McKnight's new in this job and he's been on staff the entire time he's been here. How has that helped with the program?
It's fantastic. I think here at Georgia State, we've had a lot of guys go, they've of course left. They've all went, for the most part, have excelled and gotten better jobs. I won't say better jobs, but they all tend to think, you go get a Power 5 job, it's a better job. And they'll find out shortly, it's probably not. But yeah, the consistency here is really, really good. I mean, our players are very, very comfortable around our coaches. Myself, I'm as comfortable around Coach Fuqua and Coach McKnight and the other assistant coaches that we have. Even the new guys that we've hired, I'm still very comfortable around. Quinshaw Davis, for example, I recruited Quinshaw out of high school out of Gaffney, South Carolina. So I knew Quinshaw. I used to go see him in school. He had 2 broke feet and he played wide receiver. And I used to always kid him because he wore boots. Arkita Banks is a guy that I've known for a long time. That's going to be our special teams coordinator, or is our special teams coordinator. Known him throughout my coaching career. So I am very, very comfortable with everyone on staff. And that will always be the case. And you'll know if I'm not, because they won't be here very long. So you'll see that.
I guess you brought up Coach Banks. What was the reasoning at this point you wanted to have the dedicated special teams coordinator on staff?
Well, I think we've got to make some plays in our special teams. In the past, I've been more of just a field position guy. I didn't like penalties in the kick game, momentum changers. You get a holding penalty on a kickoff return, and it just ruins everything offensively. It's almost like you take the field and it's almost like it's 1st and 20, even though it's not. So I just wanted to better organize that and take advantage of some of the players that we have in our return game. We've got to pressure the punter a little bit more. We've got to do some things in that area to really, I think, get us over the hump, to actually dictate some of these games. Some of these close games, if we would have made a play in a special team area, we probably could have won these games. So we've made a commitment to that. He's done an exceptional job, very organized. I think not just our specialists, not just our kickers, but everyone in general trying to get on that special team roster is going to be something special, because he's going to push them to be the very, very best they can be.
Coach, one of the openings you had on the defensive side of the ball as well. I know you talked about Quan Gilmore exiting, but also at safety opposite Ant Lane, looks like, at least to me, an opening right now. I know you went the JUCO route and got Chris Smith and got some young guys like Jalen Tate. But how's the battle back there on that back third?
That's going to be one of the more intriguing battles there is. I think we've got a couple guys back there in the back that's equally as talented as one another. How this fall camp goes with them, emotionally, physically. The intelligence factor has a huge role in that as well. That's one to play that's going to be played out in the next 21 days or so. And we'll solidify that and have it solidified well before the first game. But we do have, I think, some fascinating players back there that can get the job done.
We have a Zoom question from David Brown.
Hey, Coach, are there any new faces you expect to have an immediate contribution this season?
If you're talking that freshman coming in here, no, I mean, I don't think so. We've got a transfer offensive lineman that was here in the past spring that may have an impact up front, giving us the ability to move some guys around and trial some different positions. And last name Broadway, and today's his birthday, by the way. So not really, to tell you the truth. It's so hard in this day and age for a guy like some of these freshmen that come in, and it's just, the game has changed so much. One, they got to be in shape, they got to be physically mature, and they got to be mentally mature. And that's hard to do. But if there is a guy that excels during camp and proves his worth, and we have the ability to go out and be a better football team with them on the field, then they'll take the field.
Feel more comfortable with Darren and having the starting quarterback for the last year?
I think we all do. I think everybody in the country, returning quarterbacks coming back. A year ago, we had the same thing, and we felt comfortable. And for whatever reason, it didn't go. But I mean, if you're sitting here today, certainly we do. We're going to say yes. And ask me 2 weeks from now, I may say no. But I think what he's done and how he's really, he's a catalyst of our football team. I mean, offensively and defensively, everyone around him, wants to be better. He brings that kind of light into the locker room, and it's not phony. Some of these guys, they have that attitude, and it's all phony, and his is genuine. And I think that's what's really special about him. He's got that genuine attitude that really wants to excel our football team and make us, what we can be.
Now to follow up on that one, Coach.
Yeah.
What sort of things do you think he needs to improve on to help the offense get to that next level?
Well, God, we need to improve on everything. I mean, we do. I mean, if you talk about it, yeah, I think we've got to throw the ball down the field a little bit more. We've got to take advantage. We've got some talented receivers. Jamari Thrash emerged last year, and we've got some new tight ends that we can take advantage of. We got Cradle that's a big, talented, strong wide receiver on the outside. But we do need to push the ball downfield a little bit. Sometimes, I'm the fault of that. We may be getting 4 and 5 yards a clip, and I'm like, hey, if it works, what are we thinking about? Sitting here at 2nd and 10, when we got 2nd and 5, I like it. So let's keep running the football. But if they're giving us those options, and we're really powerful on the outside and in the slot receivers, and we can make those throws and catches, let's go do it. But I think that's one area, especially for us offensively, that we have to improve on. And then, of course, I mentioned I guess the special teams. I'm a guy that likes field position. If you on my kickoff returns, you tell me I can start at the 25-yard line, then I'm better than 75% of the country, because they're trying to return it and they get to the 22 for whatever reason. I'm like, I don't know what y'all are wasting your practice time on, because you're not getting where we're getting just by fair catching. But we can have an explosive play every once in a while, developing these returns, blocking kicks in the punt return area, and then also let's get some yards on those returns as well in the punt.
As well as we've run the ball, everybody knows about Tucker and Jemias. Who are some of the guys behind him, depth chart wise, that you're keeping an eye on?
Yeah, the spring MVP, Marcus Carroll, unbelievable talent. I mean, unbelievable. Marcus, the backs that we have here, this is my 26th year of coaching. I don't think I've ever had backs, ever. There's 4 and 5 backs here that can go play across the country. It doesn't matter whether they can go walk into Alabama and play, Southern Cal, it doesn't matter. They can right up the road, step into that Georgia locker room and take the backfield, and they will excel big time. KZ Adams is the guy that jumped on the field last year in spring, and he's just a true freshman now. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he's so talented. He can get out there and just make guys miss. It's one of the great things about being a football coach, especially an offensive football coach, is when you can design a play and all hell can break loose, and then he's still getting 10 and 12 yards. That's what type of athlete KZ is. But now he's fixing to get into the grind of this. Everybody can do that in the spring. We're going against our own defense. It's starting to get for real now. There's going to be other people across the board wanting to hunt him up.
Coach, you talked about competition in certain positions, but how important is competition at every position to help your team grow? Competition
Grows us all. It doesn't matter in your job and my job. You got someone pushing you and really excelling behind you. A lot of times guys that get caught are the guys that look behind and see the competition. So it works both ways. I think we've got a bunch of guys in here that don't look behind them, but they all know they've got quality behind them, and they're coming. I mean, they're coming. If you just talk about our running, and just what I was talking about, if you just talk about a running back run, I mean, you slip up and then next guy. I mean, it doesn't matter. So when you talk about fumbles, you talk about, hey, we want to fall forward in our runs. We don't want to run out of bounds and give up yards because there's another guy right behind it because they're wanting to get on that field. There's one ball and they're waiting.
Talked a lot about the offense, switching to the defensive side. Broken the sack and I think tackle for loss record back-to-back seasons.
Yes.
It seems like those guys up front on defense, it's a big rotation. They kind of set the tone for you guys.
Yeah, you know, Gore, I think Javon Dennis is going to have a hell of a year. Jamil Muhammad may be the not surprised. He doesn't surprise anybody here on our staff or with our players because of what he works and does every single day. But those guys were relentless. Man, they're just fantastic every single day. I mean, it's thrilling to watch a guy like Jamil because here he comes, he transfers in as a quarterback, and now he's leading us in sacks. And then Jeffrey Clark, same way. Thomas Gore, you know, and Thomas, to be honest with you, he didn't play just a huge amount of snaps because we had Dante Wilson. But when he gets in there, he makes it. Now he's going to be elevated. He's going to get all those reps. The other defensive lineman, I mean, it's just Javon Dennis is going to be coming back from a little foot injury, but he's a guy that makes plays, and nobody even really mentions Javon. But he's a force to be reckoned with. So I'm thrilled to death with our guys up front. Then you got Blake Carroll in there adding the sacks. You got Venzial. I mean, it's amazing to think who we can place out there defensively. The back end hit stick lane, Antavius. I mean, from the day I saw his high school tape, I am still, every time I watch him practice or play, I'm just amazed by what he does. And I shouldn't be because I see it every single day. But I'm like, he can't just continuously get picks and cause fumbles and make great plays. And he does it. He does it with consistency. He may be the very best, pound for pound, the very best player we have. And I wouldn't shy away from telling everybody on our football team.